Right.
reality as I see it. Thank
Ambassador
you.
Pradeep Kapoor, what shadow will be cast after this incident on the negotiations in Istanbul? How do you see them progressing?
Well, I think, of course, it will have an impact on the discussions in Istanbul. And, Uday, like in every story, in every act, in every incident, in every war, there are different versions, there are different perspectives, and there are different narratives. And here we are used to the European narrative, which I guess from their perspective may make some sense. But from the global perspective, I don't know how much sense it makes, because when you see it in a balanced way, to talk about Pakistan and India in the same vein, is something incomprehensible, because the terrorism definition, they have somehow got very confused, the Western world in particular, about the very definition of what is a terrorist state, what constitutes a terrorist act. And to equate the two, I think, is beyond all imagination and is quite incomprehensible. So I would appreciate if the gentleman refrains from such comparisons in the future. On the other hand, if you see the neutral narrative from a neutral perspective, which is more easily possible from another country, which is not a European country, or which is not Ukraine, or which is not Russia. So what does that bring? To the third party, when you see the Cuban crisis of 1960s, early 60s, when Russia tried to put missiles on Cuba, America laid a siege, America objected, and the Russians had to withdraw. Now, Ukraine-Russia border is the biggest border in Europe of any two countries. And Ukraine is the biggest country after Russia in Europe. Now, if you are opening up that flank, there are Western designs, Western plans, Western strategies to break up Russia into 6 countries or maybe more countries, 10 countries. If they are spanning half the world in terms of 11 time zones, they would have spanned more than 11 if they had not given up Alaska to America. It would have been more than half the world itself in terms of the spanning the time zones. So how do we break up this mighty country, this great country, this old country, this country which is strategically very rich in depth? It has got a lot of strategic depth, got a lot of minerals, got a lot of resources.
Right.
So they don't understand that doing what they are doing, they're pushing it further into the Chinese camp and creating a greater risk for themselves.
Okay.
Because Russia aligned with China, synced with Pakistan, synced with Iran, synced with North Korea, is a much greater threat to the Western world and to Europe in particular, rather than a Russia which is neutral or not is antagonistic.
Okay, let me take that to Major Lanuj Mathur as well. Major Lanuj Mathur, what are the lessons to be drawn on warfare as well from